Okay, guys, the last one was pretty slow, but well, it wasn't slow, it was long, but this one could be slow because we got the big tortoise here. Here we go. We're gonna factor completely. Okay, let's get out of this tortoise. This is Tommy the turtle. Tommy the turtle's gonna take us through some factoring. Let's see if we can go a little faster. Slow and steady spins the race. Okay, first thing we always look for, remember, is a GCF. Do I have one? Two terms. Got a GCF. If I've got the GCF, I'm going to take out the 4x. Remember that GCF always goes first. Then I'm dividing each of these by 4x. And now I'm going to find out what I have left over. 4 divided by 4 is 1. X squared minus x to the first is x. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. And the x's cancel. So my final answer is 4x times x minus 2. Alrighty, oh my goodness, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, that is 4 terms. 4 terms means I'm going to do grouping. I'm going to separate them. Remember, this sign goes with the second group. Not looking at that part, what do 12x cubed and 2x squared have in common? They have a 2x squared. If you're still having trouble with finding the GCF, you need to come into the tutor room and get some help, okay guys? So now I'm going to divide. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 3 minus 2 is x. Positive 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. So now I'm going back and looking at this part. Remember, that negative tells me I have to take out a negative. And what do they have in common? A negative 5. So I'm going to pull out negative 5. Be careful. Negative 30 divided by negative 5 is positive 6 with an x. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is positive 1. Oops, those were both supposed to be green. There's my common factor, 6x plus 1. When I factor it out of the first term, I have 2x squared. Factor it out of the second term, I have minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to look at him. He's just waiting for a little lovins. Oh, he's just a cute little turtle. There's Tommy the turtle taking us through. What do these two have in common? They have an 8 and an r squared. So I'm going to divide by 8r squared. Remember, do not forget to write down the GCF. Write it down. Then I'm going to divide. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1r. Negative 64 divided by 8 is negative 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. There are no r's there. This is a plus sign. This is a 1. 1r minus 8. The only thing they have in common is 1. Everybody has to have something in common. They always have a 1, if nothing else. 1 divided by 1 is 1 with an r left over. Negative 8 divided by 1 is negative 8. So now looking at these two terms, what do they have in common? R minus 8. And when I factor it out of the first term, I have 8r squared. Factor it out of the second term, I have plus 1. Tommy says, take it slow, people. Take it slow. Remember, you can always pause the video if I'm going too fast. 2 terms, 1 term, 2 terms. Each term is a mess. Look at him. He looks like he's swimming. Here I go. Here I go. Let's take it slow. What do 12 and 16 have in common? They have a 4 in common. Then I've got 5 A's, 3 A's. Remember, the most I can have in common is the smallest one. 3 B's, 2 B's. So I've got 2 B's in common here. 1 C, 1 C. That's what I have in common. That's what I'm going to divide each one of these by. Remember, this step right here, what I am writing, that's just the division. That's not actually the factoring. Factoring is where I write the GCF, and then I tell you what I have left over when I divide. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 3, sorry, is 2 A's. 3 minus 2 is 1 B. The C's cancel. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. 3 minus 3, gone. 2 minus 2, gone. C's gone. So this is all I have. Now, probably we wouldn't put that one there, but don't be afraid to put it there. Remember, that's division. This is my answer, GCF and the leftovers. Got to have them both. Here is checkpoint one. Checkpoint one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means all of these are grouping. Be careful of the signs. Watch for your GCF. Pause the video. Tommy Turtle says you take it slow, guys, and you can do it. All right, now we're going to talk about the big X. The big X is just a way to set up your thought process. It is not going to do anything for you except get you ready to do the problem. So some people aren't going to do the big X. Some people are just going to ask you to find the products and the sums. Some people are going to ask you to just plug and chug, but the big X is a way that's going to work every single time. What you are doing is you are looking for the factors of this top number. So in this case, the factors of 6. Remember, the factors are the numbers that multiply together. So 1 and 6 multiply to be 6. 2 and 3 multiply to be 6. Then you're taking those factors and you're looking for which ones of those add up to, that's a horrible looking 2. I don't even know what that is, and I wrote it, to this number, which in this case is 5. How do I know I'm adding? I'm adding because 6 is positive. If 6 is positive, I add. If 6 was negative, I would subtract. That sign kind of tells you what to do. So I'm going to add. 1 plus 6 is 7. 2 plus 3 is 5. That's what I'm looking for. So 2 and 3 are my side numbers. Now, guys, you have no idea why we're doing this. Oh, it is such a big surprise. It's coming up in the future. But got to be able to do this organization in order to do what we call factoring a trinomial. Ooh, trinomial, 3 terms. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know. Oh my goodness, I have never seen a red turtle. Let's just stare at that for a moment. Hello, red. That is not Tommy. Tommy is not red. Hey. All right. What are the factors of 90? What numbers multiply to be 90? 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 4 doesn't work, 5 and 16, 6 and 15, 7 doesn't work, 8 doesn't work, 9 and 10. Okay, because 90 is positive, I'm going to add these numbers. However, that's why this turtle's red, because he's got a little hitch in his get along. He's saying stop. See, he's red, so he says stop. So that's an important thing. Red turtles say stop. You've got to look at what's on the bottom. The bottom is a negative number. So if I am adding, I can get a negative number by adding a negative plus a negative. I can get a negative number by adding 2 different signs as long as one's bigger, but then I don't get a positive up top. If this is positive, which means add, it also means my 2 side numbers have to be the same signs. So it's either positive and positive down here, or it's negative and negative. So what that means is I'm going to change every one of these numbers to 2 different negative numbers, okay? And I'm looking for negative 19. Negative 1 minus 90, negative 91, no good. Negative 2 minus 45, negative 47, no good. Negative 3 minus 30, negative 33, no good. Negative 5 minus 16, negative 21, no good. Negative 5, does that even work? I feel like that doesn't work. 30. Okay, this one doesn't work. That's 80. Ignore that one. Sorry, my fault. 5 does work. So 5 goes into there 18 times. Okay, sorry, my fault. Negative 5 and negative 18 adds up to negative 23. Negative 6 minus 15 is negative 21. Negative 9 minus 10 is negative 19. So those are the 2 numbers I want to put on the side. Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. That's called an oopsie-doodle, huh? Oopsie-doodle. But I caught it, so that's good. All right, we all make mistakes. So let's look at the next one. This is positive again. So I am adding, which means my signs need to be the same. This is positive, so that means I'm going to add 2 positives. So what I'm going to do, oh my gosh, I just looked over here at my empty space and look at him. He's scary. Oh, I don't think that's Tommy. I think that's Scary turtle. Scary turtle. Oh, it sounds like the spice turtles are back. I'm going to make two positive numbers to give me 9. When I write them, it's 1 times 9. You know what else I can do at this time? I can add those and I get 10. Is that the number I want? It is. So I can stop and just put 1 and 9. I don't have to go any further. My next thing, however, would have been trying 3 plus 3. That gives me 6. So that wouldn't have helped me. All right, here again, this is positive, which means I'm adding, but down here it's negative. So I'm going to do a negative and a negative. So when I get my numbers for 18, I have 1 and 18, but they both need to be negative. Negative 1 minus 18, negative 19, no good. I've got 2 and 9, but they both have to be negative. Negative 2 minus 9 is negative 11, no good. I've got 3 and 6, but they both have to be negative. Negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. There are the two side numbers I'm looking for. Look at him. He's looking. Hey, what you got there, guys? Huh? What you got? What you got? What you got? Okay, now this is our first big X where we have a negative sign, which means we are going to be subtracting. Now, here's the deal. When you subtract, you will have a positive and you will have a negative. That's how you get a subtraction problem. Your bigger number always has to be the same sign as this bottom number. Because if you add one positive and one negative, you always take the sign of the bigger number. So this time it's a little rougher. When I'm doing 40, I get 1 and 40. My bigger number has to be positive, so that means my smaller number has to be negative. When I put those together, I get 39. That is not 18. So I've got 2 and 20. Little number negative, big number positive. Negative 2 plus 20 is 18. Those are my two side numbers. Now, you should take a moment here and double, triple check. Here's what's going on in your head. Is negative 2 times 20 equal to negative 40, my top number? Yep. Is negative 2 plus 20 equal to 18, and it's positive, which is my bottom number? Yep. That's how I know those are the right numbers. Who do we have here? Whoa, look at he's ready to go. Come on, guys. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. Here we go, everybody. We are going to be adding because this is positive. This is negative, so we're going to be adding a negative and a negative. So my first choice is 1 and 12. Make them both negative. Negative 1 minus 12, negative 13. Not what I want. My next choice is 2 and 6. Make them both negative. Negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. There you go. Again, remember, double check. Negative 2 times negative 6 gives me the top number, positive 12. Negative 2 minus 6 gives me the bottom number, negative 8. He's giving you a high five for checking. Oh no, he got so excited he did backflip and he didn't quite make it all the way over. Poor little guy. Right here, this says we're going to subtract. So we're going to have a positive and a negative. And the big number is going to be negative this time because I want my answer to be negative. So I've got 1 and 14, make the big number negative. 1 minus 14 is negative 13, no good. I've got 2 and 7, make the big number negative. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. There are my two numbers. All right, he's getting a little hungry now. Look, he's having a snack. We are going to subtract because that's negative. So that means we have a positive and a negative. The big number has to be positive because my bottom number is positive. So I've got 1 and 15, big number positive, little number negative. Negative 1 plus 15 is 14. Look at that. We found it right off the bat. Oh, look at the turtle. He's so cute. He's winning the race. Slow and steady wins the race. There's like a poem about that, but I don't know what it is. But this little guy didn't quite make it. He's just not winning. He's a bunny, but he's not fast. So he's Bob the Slow Bunny. We are going to add. The signs have to be the same, which in this case means they both have to be negative. So I have 1 and 12, make them both negative. That gives me negative 13. I have 2 and 6, make them both negative. Negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. I have 3 and 4, make them both negative. That's where my negative 7 comes in. All right, here's my last slide. Last slide, you're going to do a bunch of big X's. Remember here you subtract and you subtract, which means you have to decide which number is going to be positive. That one's going to be big. Here you're adding, the bottom is positive, so it's going to be positive, positive. Here you're subtracting, you're going to have a positive and a negative. Your bottom number is positive, so your big number's positive. Hey guys, this big X is going to get you through the next couple of weeks, months, maybe even years. So you really want to do these big X's, all right? Hey, X marks the spot. The turtle wins. Woohoo! See you next time.